Oh my god, he's gonna morb!
Gamer Braves.
What's up guys, it's Juan Emerald from Gamer Braves, and today we're going to be looking at Sunbreak, the newest expansion for Monster Hunter Rise. Also known as the best game to play when you're in line waiting for your vaccination, or when you've just been stood up at a date, or when you're in an awkward situation. For those of you not in the know, every Monster Hunter title has its G-Rank expansion. Basically, it's a new story that adds a layer of difficulty, and by releasing it as a separate expansion, or re-release in the case of older games, shout out to old Capcom, it allows a sort of course correct on the direction of the game. Monster Hunter World had it big with Iceborne, where it drastically altered the game's experience by adding a better endgame loop. And I think that's very much something Rise could have used, since the endgame content for base Rise was, let's face it, a glorified sticker hunt. That being said, there's a huge chunk of content before you get there. So, let's take a look at that first, huh? Sunbreak makes a lot of changes to Rise's combat, turning it from coked out Monster Hunter to Nick Cage in, well, anything really. The switch scrolls basically let you swap out between two movesets, kind of like Styles in Devil May Cry. And yes, we tried it out, you can totally use it to cancel out of certain moves. And it even gives you a dash if you hit the evade button right after it. Your switch skills have also been dramatically increased, with every weapon getting new toys to play with. This has led to all sorts of fun changes to weapons, such as the furthering of the Johnnification of Longsword, as well as letting you basically play as Master Chief with a Halo 1 needler for the light bowgun. How's that for a Halo collab? Combo expression was already at an all-time high in base Monster Hunter Rise, and with Sunbreak, Capcom has basically went to hell with it and pushed it up even higher. And the best part is, they've adjusted the monsters to boot. Sunbreak's plot has you dealing with the Tree Lords, who might as well be the bosses from Resident Evil Village, seeing as they're already based on the freaking Monster Mash. While Sunbreak has a much smaller pool of new monsters, what we did get is amazing. Garangom freaking rocket jumps like TF2 was still playable, and Malzeno has Slayer-style POW bunkers as he teleports across the screen. Meanwhile, for returning monsters, we got fan favorites like Gore Magala and Steve. Freaking Steve is back! Rejoice guys, you thought he was done tearing it up in Minecraft? Nah, Steve is here to ruin your day. As the world's #1 Brachiosaurus fanboy, sure, it's sad, I probably won't see Punchosaurus Rex in this game. But hey, at least the selection we got was pretty great. My only new complaint is that the subspecies for the new monsters are kind of lame. Blood Orange Bicheten is basically a poor man's Basil Geese, same with Aurora Somnicanth just being Somnicanth but ice. And that's not normally a crime by Monster Hunter standards, but the fact that so many of the new fights are so cool, it just makes these ones feel boring in comparison. Think of it like going to a Halloween party in a simple costume. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. After all, most Halloween parties are this. But the problem is you went with your friend who's a professional cosplayer, and she's thinking to herself, you know what? It's time to flex on everyone. And now you look like garbage next to her because of course you're hanging out with her the whole night. And she's rocking whatever holy outfit she's pulled out of her collection. Meanwhile, you're just a dollar store Bill Clinton. One decision I really want to praise Capcom for with Sunbreak is also a very baffling one. The game adds this new quest type called follower quests. Basically, you can now actually hang out with some of the new NPCs in the game, such as Fiorine, sister of the base game's best girl Rondi. Just judging by the fact that you can take the egg-laying twins on a quest, you can tell that this was made to appeal to the waifu trash, and it's really lowbrow. You know what? This is the greatest feature they've ever made. And that's kind of my critique of it. It's such a good feature for pulling in new players. What the hell is it doing in an endgame expansion? This would have been a huge casual audience draw. But by having it locked to after you've put in enough hours to beat Narwa, this just kind of seems counterproductive. Speaking of said endgame, there's quite a bit to do with Sunbreak. Afflicted is basically like the hyper monsters from Generations, and really test your abilities to target weak points for the monsters to do big damage. It's kind of like if High Lord Walner somehow ended up in Elgato. I've never really been a big fan of these hunts in any of the games, since they always come at a price to balance them, and with the Afflicted, this comes in the form of their health pools. By damaging the points, you do big damage, and you've got to make that payoff feel good. But also, you have to make sure that just popping one of these spots isn't enough to murk a whole dragon. But man, it comes at the cost of taking the fun out of making weird builds, which is a shame because the new armor skills are actually pretty neat. I'm pretty sure any attempt to use them is just going to be met with derision because it's not a maxed out crit boost and attack up or something. At least it's not Apex monsters from 4U, I guess. All in all, I really love the changes to Sunbreak compared to base Rise, but I can understand how some players might feel like they're lacking. For one, they got rid of rampages and didn't obviously replace them in any kind of way. While some might applaud the lack of rampages, the fact that we did such a hard left away from them feels like Capcom almost admitting that putting a tower defense mode in an action game was a bad idea to begin with. There are a lot of new changes, but no player that every change is for, if that makes sense. For example, Waifu trash are sure to love the follower quest, because it makes them feel like someone actually wants to hunt with them. But at the same time, those who just want to hunt the big monster will probably decry that once again, the endgame is just another race of farming XP to get to the coolest monster before the next big update. For all it's done new, I kind of wish Sunbreak had done something about that. It's not like I have any better solutions, but maybe not having maxed out Elden Ring characters as the post-game bosses would have been a good start. Still, Capcom has the Monster Hunter formula down to an art, and I'm happy to let them keep messing with alternative game modes because hunting monsters continues to be an amazing experience. My main hope now is that they actually keep a steady flow of content coming for Sunbreak, because I could grind this game for hours, as long as it's for actual rewards, you know, and not stickers again. Ugh. What are your favorite monsters you want to see come back? Type Brachydios in the chat and find out after you hit enter. This has been Wondermill from Game Braves. Happy hunting, guys!
Hey there! Thank you so much for watching our videos. Don't forget to give us a subscribe if you'd like to see more, and like so we know what kind of content you want to see. Got suggestions for new content? Let us know in the comments below too. Thank you so much again for watching. Take care, dudes.